Hopefully the third time is the charm on this live. We've been having some technical difficulties with YouTube, so we apologize if you've been in and out of our streams. It's been a crazy time with YouTube getting this to work. I'm going to go ahead and presume that this is working. We're going to cross our fingers and we're going to jump in because it has been an absolutely insane day. Like, I don't like to beat a dead horse, but there are days that are crazy, and there are days like today. And today was crazy for a very, very, very good reason. And that was because we finally started hitting back the Oklahoma Bar Association. Hey, disabled advocate. Hey, just me. How's it going, everybody? Thanks for coming into the chat. Hit that like button as you come in here. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're paying attention to this. Hey, Scott, tuning in from San Diego. Thanks so much. Really appreciate you guys coming in. We've got a lot to cover, and I'm not going to stay on here very long, but I'm wearing one of my favorite hats tonight because I wanted to remind the Oklahoma Supreme Court that unlike their other pawns, you can't intimidate me. Why can't you intimidate me? Well, it's very, very simple. Because on February 3rd, 2020, I had the first of a series of heart attacks. For those of you who are joining late to the story of Ron Durbin and why he does the crazy things he does, we're going to give you a synopsis. Hey, Tyrant Auditor from Nebraska. Good to see you. USA badass. USA is badass. And we've proven that with getting some hostages freed. So that was really awesome. Speaking of getting hostages freed, we're going to jump right in to what I'm going to talk about today. We filed an application for injunctive relief. So as those of you who watch this channel know, I am suspended from the Oklahoma Bar Association, and we're going to get into why. I printed off the order suspending me, and I was going to go through this order with you guys because I wanted to read you a few passages as to what the Oklahoma Supreme Court found when they suspended me without conducting a hearing. And so today we filed an application for injunctive relief, and let's talk about what that does. First of all, we did not ask for it to be ex parte. Ex parte means without the other side present and having an opportunity to refute what we're saying. We asked for it to be set for a hearing and for the other side to be allowed an opportunity to respond and for a hearing to be conducted. Why? Well, they didn't give me a hearing, and I wanted to make it a point that there is due process in this country, and we're going to give them due process. Hey, John Denicola, good to see you in here as well. We're going to give them due process. So we asked the courts to set it for a hearing. And the application for injunctive relief has got a lot of things that are in there. And basically, it comes down to a couple of things. So let's first talk about that. Let's talk about due process and your right and property rights. For those of you who do not, somebody says due process is a myth. It seems to be in many circumstances. Ed, you're not incorrect about that. What a great name. That was my grandfather, Ed Parker's name. Edwin Lee Parker. That's why my son's name's Lee. We have a problem with due process in this country. But let's go to the most basic of property rights that most all of us can equate to in this country. And it's a driver's license, right? A driver's license. You get those from the state. Or if you're from New York and you have no name, you get those from the state of New York and it says no name on it. But regardless, when you are given this thing called a driver's license by the state of Oklahoma in this particular instance, if the state of Oklahoma wants to take it from me, wants to take that driver's license from me, it's got to give me notice and an opportunity for a hearing. So let's just say I'm driving down the road, drunkard and cooter brown, like Judge Sharon Holmes of Tulsa County. A judge of the Judicial County, the 14th Judicial District, that if you've not seen the Judge Sharon Holmes drunk judge driving her grandkid around video, she got a private reprimand for that. Since then, she's let rapists go. She has brought defendants into her office to talk to them privately without any counsel present. She had a conversation with the jury without the prosecutor or the defense present the other day. She is a nut job run amok. So let's just say your nut job run amok, drunk Judge Sharon Holmes, and you're driving down the road and you get pulled over by a TPD officer and they say, hey, drunk Judge Sharon Holmes, you're drunk. They will charge you with DUI. And in the state of Oklahoma, the Department of Public Services is going to try to take your driver's license. But you have a right to request a hearing. And you get to keep operating with your driver's license, and you get to keep driving around. They even mail your driver's license back to you, and you get to have that until you are given a hearing and your appeals. Why? Because in relation to a property interest, like a license, and this is case law on this point from every federal jurisdiction that I'm aware of, certainly the case law in the state of Oklahoma says you have a property interest in your driver's license. The point is, you can't take somebody's driver's license in the state of Oklahoma without giving them notice and an opportunity for a hearing, giving them a hearing where they can confront witnesses against them. I didn't get that. I did a lot more than do something to get a driver's license. I had to do more than pass a driver's test. I had to go to law school, graduate, which I did really well, and I had to pass a bar exam, and I was an attorney for 16 years without a single ever being in trouble for anything. And yet they take away my license to practice law because I did things like expose drunk driving judges and call out corrupt attorneys and judges that ask for kickbacks and things like that. So today we filed an application for injunctive relief, arguing that by them taking my license without giving me a hearing, they violated my due process rights under the 14th Amendment. So that's what the main argument was about. Secondarily to that, the argument was very, very simple. And it says that even though I had to swear an oath to the Oklahoma Bar Association, it did not mean that I gave up my First Amendment rights to redress my grievances with government, my rights to free press, and my rights to free speech. And that the things that I'm suspended for are all constitutionally protected activities. So our injunction asked the court to order them to reinstate me. Now, I want to remind everybody, I am not getting back into a courtroom. Not happening. That's not what this battle is about. I got into this battle because it didn't, because I was in a position where that didn't matter, because it's not necessary for my life. I really enjoy doing this and exposing this corruption. So I'm not doing this to get back into a courtroom or get back into the practice of law, because quite frankly, that is the death of me. I'm really good at it. I'm really good in court. Maybe one day I'll go around the country trying First Amendment kind of cases for people charged with BS crimes. Maybe for First Amendment auditors, I'd love doing that. But first step is get my license back. But anyway, I wanted to show you guys this. This is the order of emergency interim suspension. And I want you to notice up here the date on this thing. This thing was filed April the 8th of 2024. So I have been suspended without hearing since April the 8th, 2024. That is 18 months for you folks. Now, this is the order that suspends me. So this is the findings and facts and conclusions of law. And I want to point out something, that they have to find that I did these things by clear and convincing evidence. Evidence, that thing that, you have at a hearing where somebody presents a thing and then somebody gets to object and then the court gets to decide whether or not it's admissible or not. We didn't have that happen. What we had happen is the bar filed something. I filed something saying that was all BS, and then this came out suspending me. Let's read some of the things that they say. And I'm not joking. I'm going to read this section right here. This is why I'm suspended. Quote, in support, the OBA reports that it has received sufficient evidence demonstrating respondent has committed conduct in violations of rules 1.1, 1.3, 1.4, 1.5, 1.6, 1.7, 1.8. I'm not going to read all of those. So the Supreme Court found that the OBA reported that it received, they're the ones trying to take my license from me. Of course, I'm also a member of their association, and they're supposed to be, it'd be like your union trying to take your license from you if you were, like a part of a carpenter's union. It's not supposed to work that way. But yeah, they reported that they had sufficient evidence. Great. Then, the complainant, that's the OBA again, alleges it has conducted an extensive review of respondents' court filings, pleadings, and statements made in open court. Well, I'm really glad that they allege those things. Funny, I thought evidence was required to do those things. Yeah, I don't know. Call me crazy. Let's keep going. They got to get to some evidence here. We're on paragraph 4, and basically the rest of it says it includes matters where I'm representing myself and acting for third parties. Let's go to the next one. Then it says complainant, and again that's the OBA. Complainant submits Respondent continues to assert reckless, malicious, and dishonest statements in his Facebook Live broadcast sessions that are posted online and publicly accessible. According to the OBA grievances, during these broadcasts, the respondent disparages judges, the judiciary, opposing counsel, the OBA, and anyone with opposing views. God bless freaking America. Of course, I do those things on my page. Of course. Reckless, malicious, dishonest. I have video of drunk driving Sharon Holmes. You punished the woman. I submitted the evidence related to Judge Glasgow soliciting bribes. You punished him. How? Okay, so I guess I don't have a First Amendment right? Okay. But remember, they're supposed to find that I did these things and that I should be suspended by clear and convincing evidence. Now let's go through this 3 stages of evidence in case you didn't already know this. You got the lowest stage. That's preponderance of the evidence. They call that the tipping of the scale. 50.01%. That's preponderance of the evidence. That's like a car wreck case, right? Your civil negligence kind of cases, any kind of civil case, preponderance of the evidence. Then you've got criminal cases beyond a reasonable doubt. And that's like the highest standard that exists. And, you're not allowed to define what that means. You're smart people. You can kind of figure that out. Then there's clear and convincing evidence, which is a hell of a lot higher than preponderance of the evidence, but not quite reasonable doubt. So it's way the hell up here too. And again, to do that, you have to have evidence. But let's see. Maybe they have some evidence that I've missed. Let's keep going. Complainant, that's the OBA again. Complainant further submits that respondent made disparaging remarks and was disrespectful to police officers, state and county officials, and city employees. And I was rude and made disparaging remarks about rapist cops, wife beating, herpes spreading, peanut butter given to dogs on their wang cops. I'm like, you're right. I did that. This is why, by the way, for those of you who bring up, aren't you suspended? This is why I'm suspended. That's why you can't, this is why you don't have any effect on me when you say that, because I know what the craziness is. And again, I'm reading this off the page, folks. This is their order suspending me. And I've been suspended for 18 months without a hearing. Let's keep going though, because surely they get some evidence. Let's keep going. Quote, he regularly disrupts the peace when he attempts to retrieve public records pursuant to the Open Records Act. I'm always nice. Does peace get disturbed by other people who don't like me recording? Sure. Then let's keep going. He also threatens state employees that they will be arrested if they do not immediately comply with his open records requests, and has even caused an office to be on lockdown because he caused such a scene that the police had to be called. The police had to be called because I was recording. I made somebody call the police. And again, this is what they've submitted. No evidence. They didn't say on this date, at this time, in this place, Mr. Durbin did these things in this particular instance, and that was inappropriate. No, but just sometime I did something where somebody had to call the police, and that was a bad thing. Respondent's conduct has been repeatedly reported on by the media, including his profanity-laced disparaging remarks about judges, the judiciary, and opposing counsel. God bless Cohen v. California, which said that even the words F the draft, we use that because of YouTube, is acceptable in a courthouse. But anyway, let's keep seeing what they say. Respondents' false and incendiary attacks on the legal system and judiciary are continuing, as evidenced by complainant's amended complaint, wherein complainant brought new charges against respondent for similar and inappropriate behavior in violation of the Oklahoma Rules of Professional Conduct. Which rules? Where? When? What conduct? How? What evidence? Who testified? Why didn't I get to cross-examine them? Upon consideration of the verified amended complaint, by the way, Two people had to sign off on me getting suspended. The president of the Professional Responsibility Tribunal and the head of the General Counsel's office for the OBO, of whom the weeks before I ran out of the state capitol because they were there trying to lobby for something, and they thought that they could order the sheriff's department or the highway patrol to kick me out of the state capitol rotunda, and they got informed that no, I have the right to be there, and they all decided to run, and then they filed this stuff to get me immediately suspended. Do you think that has something to do with the fact that I ran them out of the Capitol when they were trying to lobby? I don't know. What do you think? And again, two people, and on that basis alone, upon consideration of the verified complaint, verified amended complaint, and application for emergency interim suspension, the court finds that respondent has committed conduct in violation, that he poses an imminent threat of substantial and irreparable public harm. I can still disparage the judiciary right here. I can still do all that stuff right here, right now. But folks, in case you wanted to know why I was suspended, that's the order. I mean, there's nothing else. There's nothing else juicy in here. I assure you. There's not. That's why. That's why. If you want to know why I fight so damn hard, because we have a right. We have rights in this country, and it is absolutely insane that they've been able to do this. And fortunately, I've been in a position to where I don't have to be worried that I would not be able to eat because of what they did, because I knew I'd be able to eat. Thank God I married a doctor, and she's amazing and wonderful, and for some reason she likes me. I don't understand why. Don't any of you try to talk her out of it. She's in some trance. I don't know what it is, but you're not going to get her out of it, so just leave that alone. But anyway, we've got that going on, and we've got Judge Holmes doing bad things. We have an OSU, an Oklahoma State University student, who was essentially threatened for speech. Somebody says, Ron, shut up. What am I shutting up about? She likes a potty mouth. Oh, my wife? Yep, she does. She doesn't mind. She doesn't mind my mouth, or she wouldn't have married me, right? Anyway, maybe. Yeah. I got snail. Oh, y'all haven't. You're looking at my tank back there. Yeah. So, if you didn't already figure this out from any of my other lives, I love aquariums. I love fish. And this is the one that's in my office. And this is where Durbin Debates will be. Durbin Debates is going to be shooting that way. And we're decorating over there for the set for Durbin Debates. It'll launch next week. If you've not already gone over there, go check that out. We're going to be talking about national topics, lots of things. I'm fairly intellectual on those kind of things. We're going to be talking about all those things. Go check out Durbin Debates. And we'll be doing those live Monday, Wednesday, Friday from noon to 2. And then we're going to be going out and doing college campus tours and doing debates out on the streets in front of, bar associations and all kinds of awesome places that we're going to go. And I'm going to put myself in those situations, and we're going to bring you the news and continue to do that. But anyways, related to my tank, I got some guppies. I got some swordtails. I've got shrimp galore, freshwater red shrimp, and then snails. And now for you animal activist people out there, I get all the little baby snails, and I scoop them up in the net, and then I go take it to my other fish tank that's 1,000 gallons, and I feed them to my clown loaches in there because they love snails. So those snails get murdered like regularly. Not the shrimp. The shrimp are like my majestic little creatures that get to run around and do their own little thing. But the snails, they're in there literally for the purposes of giving my other things little special treats. I've got a breeded pair of clown loaches. Not that you care about any of this stuff, but that's what I got going on. And anyway, okay, let's talk about a couple other things. If you'd like to make a donation, I'd certainly appreciate a donation. We really are trying to fund all the things that we're doing. The links hopefully have been in the comments. I didn't put them in the description, but we really need your support on this stuff. I got a couple of big things coming up. One, I'm trying to plan a trip to go up and see Accountability for All in Massachusetts, and go back up and see Dan with Auditing Erie County at the end of November. So if you wanted to help cover gas and some Airbnbs for that. That would be fantastic. The PayPal links and all those things are in there. Also, if you've been watching our series on Spazinaw, Oklahoma, with the person who pulled the gun and that crazy council and all the nut jobs in Spazinaw, who, if you saw the last live, they went to the dollar store and got some things. Well, we have figured out a solution to that. If you want to help contribute to the next video, you'll get to watch our response to their little Dollar General noisemakers. I've got a great solution. The solution was $150, and it's $150 well spent. But if you would like to be part of that and be shouted out in the next video, I'd love to do that. We got to figure out a way, folks. And I hate asking for money, but at the end of the day, we're only going to continue to do this. The YouTube does not pay the bills. I need you to understand that. YouTube helps us cover some gas, but it does not pay the bills. And we're not looking to make any money. We just want to be able to do as much stuff as we can. And if I had more money, the first thing I would do, I want you to know, is I'd hire an editor so we could put out more videos because I have more content, and I would hire a cameraman. So I'd free up Lee. So if we ever get more money, I want you to understand that we're going to put it right back into content. I need an editor and I need a cameraman. And if you want to be one of those two things and you want to volunteer and help out the channel or any of those things, we would love to have you. Shout out, send us a message. Ron at guerrillaarmy.com, GUERRILLA.com, Ron at guerrillaarmy.com. I can't afford you. Right now I'm asking for volunteers or y'all to donate to the links below. Also, if you're watching this and you've not bothered to like the channel and follow the channel, do us a favor. We're almost to 100,000. And I'm going to end on this. I was in Oklahoma City early today to hand the documents to the process server because I wanted to go film the Bar Association getting served, because that's what I think of the Bar Association. Gina Hendricks, Lorraine Faribault. And I have a funny story to tell you. If you saw my post a couple of weeks ago where I asked you to call the Oklahoma Supreme Court and urge them to give me my license back, it was when we filed the case. If you called, I want you to know that the process server who went into the Oklahoma Supreme Court today and served them pointed out that they all knew who you were. You know, that they said y'all were all make-believe and that nobody really follows this channel and that all that's just make-believe and that I bought followers. Well, as you know, I can't afford to buy much of anything, let alone, I can't afford to buy common sense, let alone a follower. And you guys, in response to that, called. And hey, if you want to be a driver or any of those things, you got to email me. You got to email me. I don't know how to contact you on this thing when you're on a live and you comment. So Ron at guerrillaarmy.com. Love to have your help and support. But anyway, I lost my train of thought. Oh heck, what was I talking about? Oh, if you want to help drive us around, email me. That's what we need. That's the only way we're going to get more content out. We're going to do all of that stuff. And oh yeah, for those of you who called Disabled Vet City, called 100 times, I want you to know that they remembered you. I'm not sure it was fondly, but they sure knew who the heck I was. The process server texted me back, and she's like, Ron, they sure knew who the heck you were. And I was like, yeah, I can imagine there might be a couple of reasons why. So be checking out. I'm going to do another post maybe tomorrow. Urge you to call over to them. And by the way, I filed for my license back with them, and it's been almost a month, and they've just ignored me. So that's what we've got going on. So I've got all kinds of stuff going on. I'm trying to get out to see James Freeman too. It's just literally time and money are my two constraints. And if I had more time, if I had more money, I'd have more time. And if I had more money, I'd have more help, and we'd have more content, and we'd have more work that we can do. And folks, that's what I'm in this for. Again, thank you so much for watching, for tuning in. I really think we're making a change. I got a lot more to talk about with the superintendent. If you saw that Billy Delaplank video, we got a lot more in that. We got a lot more with Drunk Judge Holmes. We got a lot more with so many other things. And we're going to be around the state of Oklahoma. So with that said, I'm going to keep you posted on the things. Thank you all so much. I hope you have a fantastic, fantastic night. And tune in for more, I'm sure. Oh, video launching. Spazinaw Part 2 will launch on Thursday. Lee is working on that. So Spazinaw Episode 2 will launch on Thursday. And then on Thursday and Friday, I'm going to be out in the state doing some things, seeing some folks. So we will see you around. If you are in this chat and you're in Oklahoma or in the proximity of Oklahoma, let me know where I should go. And if you're somewhere far away and you have the funds to get me there in Airbnb and you think that we should go investigate something, let me know. Have passport, will travel. With that said, you all stay safe out there. Peace be with you.